Yo, 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 what is up? It is five guys in a six pack. I am no crypto. Uh Here we've got Randon as normal. We've got a couple people out today, but filling in is Jonathan. Jonathan was in a couple weeks ago, guest on Randon's show. Jonathan, say hi, what up again?
How's it going from Dallas, Texas? Jonathan.
We also got Silverado Kev, writer for all 49ers SI, and what your channel that you roll with is escaping me off the top of the head.
Real talk, man to talk, baby. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I got you.
You got the bling ready for you there, Crypto.
Oh,
Bro,
man,
he already coming.
Rep the brand.
So we're back today, talking about a lot of things going on with the NFL. Real quick, since we talk about this whole thing's kind of centers around beer, what are y'all drinking on?
Sorry to let you down again, but I'm doing the core water tonight. The summer's right around the corner, so I got to get ready for that swimsuit season.
Oh, I got some water too.
Didn't you know the dad bod's in?
Got a little juice in my cup. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me?
My face got a dad bod.
Brand, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
I'm rolling with the Half-Life out of Dallas, Texas, from Manhattan Project.
I got me some Elysian.
Hey, that Elysians. Hey. Whew, that boy gets you there in a hurry.
I might have been known.
They push you the diamond lane real quick.
I might have been known to have 4 or 5 tall boys at Buffalo Wild Wings and drive back to the house.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you a story real quick about IPAs, bro. Like, I didn't know what they were a couple years ago, and somebody told me they got me a beer. I'm like, I bet, and I'm like, what the hell is this? It looked a little different, you know what I'm saying? So, but he was like, man, it's a strong beer. You know what I'm saying, you like strong drinks. I'm like, all right. And I took the first sip like it was a regular beer because I thought it was a regular beer. Man, it should taste like gorilla piss. I mean, IPAs are an acquired taste. It was terrible, but I was drunk in 3 seconds. I don't like the way it tastes, but boy, where's that Magic Mountain?
Do you know a what?
Where's that Magic Mountain? The theme park?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling good too.
The IPA was essentially created for the British troops that were off overseas in India. And regular beer would spoil in the time it took to send it over there. So they had to come up with another beer that could, withstand the test of time. And it also happened to have a higher alcohol content. Woo-wee.
The more you know,
hey,
the more you know.
I'm telling you. I used to be a beer guy.
On IPAs.
Yeah. No, I used to be in the industry. I used to be in the industry, and when you get a lot of free beer, you wake up in the morning still a little perfect. And I mean, you get some talents that you didn't normally. They used to make. Okay, so back in the 70s, when you would pull up as a truck driver, a beer man to a bar, you would have a whole bunch of beer in the back of your truck. You'd have a whole bunch of empty spots inside the bar, and you go in there and you do a build to list, right? Boom, boom, boom. You got this, and then you go out to the truck, grab it, bring it in. Then you would have to sit down and have a full pint with the owner, because if you just got the money and ran, it was like you were spitting in their face. You had to sit down, enjoy your beer with them, talk with them. And when you got 20 stops a day, baby.
Just being good at your job. Customer service at its finest.
So you out there taking risking it all for a DUI, what you're saying?
There wasn't really no DUIs back then.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, Cadillacs used to come with decanters in them, like for your scotch.
One way to think about it, for sure.
Drive, park and sip.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, anything you guys want to bring up real quick? Anything happening in your lives you want to shout out to anybody? Anything like that?
No, it looks like Ekim's drinking on some IPA in the chat.
Oh, Ekim, what you got going on?
He's got some toppling Goliath out of Iowa.
Oh,
I guess I can start with breaking news. This just saying, Lemmy G is still on 49 roster.
Oh,
yeah, you heard that right, Lemmy G.
Lemmy G. Yes, I did not misspeak. And look, here we are, Bay Area baller. He's our homie. Oh crap! I just lost all his links. While you guys are talking, I'm gonna have to be figuring something out. So
Runa at? That's my guy, man. Runa, all right.
So Waruna got a new job, and
Okay.
it seems like his job's a little more entailed than his last job. Like maybe he got more responsibilities or something, and he's been a lot busy. But he's in San Francisco right now doing some kind of shindig with the bosses and whatnot. So he didn't know if he was.
Problems.
He didn't know if he was going to be able to get away free because there might be some dinner plans or something like that. So he might be rubbing elbows right now. We wish him the best of luck. Obviously, him and his beautiful family, they deserve it.
100%.
I wish I got a job at home. What? Yeah, I'm taking that job.
Yeah,
my mama
out. Let's see. Only consistent with the 49ers. Jimmy will never let go of his.
And he's not. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. There is some truth to that. He is consistent at being inconsistent.
Yes. Well, he's in the same way. He's inconsistent in the same way. He's consistent at being inconsistent at the same way. Yeah.
I can't talk too much. I watched him beat my Cowboys in the playoffs, but he for sure tried to get that game back to us. He tried everything in his power.
I'm just gonna say, don't say he beat your Cowboys.
He tried everything in his power to give it back to us. I was a big fan of him too.
He had touchdowns in that game.
He had touchdowns. Oh my gosh. Oh, like that's what you're supposed to do. It's in the job description.
He doesn't get a percentage of the win. Like he doesn't get a percentage of it all. It's not like they ran for 300 yards
he did throw the screen pass to Debo to put his ahead. You're right. I'm saying.
Hey, the best 2 yards ever. The best 2 yards ever, baby.
I was watching that game through tears, so I can't tell you too much about what happened. Once I realized it was over, I just kind of went.
You didn't bring the windshield wipers for those glasses.
My 30 years
I had to turn it to a Jimmy G, dump show. So let's just go ahead and.
Jonathan,
Jimmy G is a big fan. I think Jimmy G is in this chat. Why are you being so rude?
Jimmy is definitely not in this chat, and if he did, he's not that intelligent. But no,
I wasn't gonna say nothing about that, Kim. I wasn't even gonna mention that.
All quarterbacks
you butt naked.
Yeah. So then, I just want to say real quick, Jonathan, that 49ers Dallas game. You know what I mean? How you were feeling emotionally. That's us twice a year with the Seahawks. the dead ass. There's no getting around it. We could have a great team. They could have a shit team. It's still going to be like that.
Moving forward, it's probably something we're going to touch on today, but I don't think you have to worry about that much longer because I think those guys are in a full rebuild. So.
All right. You know what? Let's talk about moving forward. Let's get into why we're here. So with all these big, huge quarterback trades that we're seeing, all these 3 first-rounders, even Trey Lance, he wasn't even, they didn't even trade 3 first-rounders for him. It was just the 3rd pick in the draft was worth that. Where do you see trades going from here? Are you going to see like another Herschel Walker? Is there going to be like is the NFL going to put like the clamps on this and like put a limit? You know what I mean? What is the deal? What do you think? Let's go with Kev first. You first time on the show, Kev. What do you think?
So what's the question? Because I'm trying to.
So you know how they're going for 3 first-rounders. They're going to in 5 years. Is it going to be 4 first-rounders? In 2 years, is it going to be 4 first-rounders? Is it going to be 5 first-rounders in 5 years?
I guess it depends on the who. You know what I'm saying? I guess it depends on the who. That Deshaun Watson. Wow.
Yeah.
that was. I mean, he a bad boy, but damn, and guaranteed. Oh man. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get into the contract itself a little later.
I mean, but man, look, I love the fact that teams have a desire and strive to get better, unless you part of 49ers, of course. I like how everybody else around us is getting better. And you know what? I'm gonna be level-headed like I normally am. I mean, I know this ain't mad that we can't sign all the free agents and everything. And to be honest, we don't really need a lot. We just need certain key spots. You know what I'm saying? So every free agent that become a free agent, I guarantee you, as soon as they become free agent, we should get them. Or it's they link to the Niners. And I'm like, listen. I decided a couple of days ago not to let it emotionally stranglehold me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I give a whole lot much more of my mental capacity and headspace than I should to this other team. You know, I'm born and raised in San Francisco, though. Born and raised, September 1st, 1978. You feel me? I was born into this. So it's kind of hard not to, you know, wear my emotions on my sleeve when it comes to this team, you know, especially when I know what things we can do to get better, you know. But, you know, we'll see. You know, we got a corner, needed a corner, you know, special teams being bulked up because it was a not so special team as unit last year. So, you know, we'll see. And the sooner Jimmy gone, and I'm sorry, Jimmy, right now you're a liability, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got $25 million I need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I get why it's taking so long. You know what I'm saying? He always hurt, inconsistent. I mean, more of a system guy. You know what I'm saying? So hey.
Well, I mean, so as far as the amount of that they gave up for Watson, you know, elite players are going to get that amount. You saw Khalil Mack went for a haul. You saw all those kind of things, and so that I don't think that's going to change. You're just going to see the amount of guaranteed money go up, and the amount of when Trey Lance becomes a free agent, and if he plays the way that people think he's going to play, his contract's going to be $65 million a year. So you're talking about like that's going to go up. I don't think the cost, because I think the amount of like with the draft, like the points that each pick in the draft is going to stay the same. But the amount of guaranteed money, the amount of money going back, like you look at the Matt Ryan deal, which we'll get to later, you know, is how much guaranteed money he had versus, you know, the guaranteed money that Jimmy has and all this kind of stuff like that versus I think all that stuff's going to weigh the same. But there's only you could argue there's only 5 elite quarterbacks, maybe 3 in the league that are at a tier of their own. And Watson, because of his age, and even if he has to sit out all this year, you still have all that time there. And if you look at what the Browns are doing, you know, how many, I think they've had over 20 quarterbacks since they've been in Cleveland. Like they haven't had a stable guy there. Now they're going to have a stable guy there for a decade. They can build around him. They try to do that with Baker. It didn't work with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. And so to get one of those top 5 guys to where you don't have to worry about it on a year in, year out basis, it's worth those 3 first-round picks. Because you look at, you know, from 2000 to 2020, quarterbacks taken in the top 5, like what Trey Lance is, only 2 of them ever became MVPs, which is Matt Ryan and Cam Newton. So, like, even in top 5 picks, you're talking about a slim chance to get a true game breaker type. And so why not trade 3 first-round picks who aren't going to be top 5 overall picks because you hope that Watson brings your team to the playoffs from year 1, no matter who's around them. And so ultimately, I think it was worth the gamble. And, you know, if the player becomes available, if for some reason the Chiefs want to go to a rebuild and Mahomes is still in his prime, I mean, you could be looking at 4 or 5 first-round picks. But, you know, like that, those types of things, that those players don't become available often. And to be honest, if it wasn't for the off-the-field stuff, he probably wouldn't be available. So, you know, the Browns jumped on it, and we're willing to pay whatever to take that gamble because we'll even see, like, I mean, we're going to talk to see if who won this trade is the next topic. But the fact that we don't even know who the Texans are picking at this point, the Browns won this trade hands down no matter what, because unless all 3 of those guys are all pros, a quarterback is the most important position on the field.
Yeah,
Jonathan. Yep.
It's impossible to put a price tag on a 26-year-old top 8 quarterback like Deshaun Watson when you think about what he was able to accomplish in Houston. I mean, with that cluster of an organization, with that head coach, with that front office, he had them up 24 points on the eventual Super Bowl champions in Kansas City in the playoffs. So when you get to bring that in-house, now you have a guy who, no matter what's around him, he's going to make you competitive. That's going to bring money to the city, bring money to the franchise, and maybe even get you a Super Bowl. It's a copycat league. Look at what happened in L.A. As soon as they got Stafford, that team became a Super Bowl team. In this league, there may be, like you say, 10 or 12 quality quarterbacks on this planet. And when you can get one of those guys in office, there's no price tag. There's the amount of first rounders, the amount of guaranteed money, it all goes out the window when you think about the potential billions Stafford just brought to LA. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a guy that's going to keep you competitive and keep you in that conversation year after year, regardless of the talent around him, especially, like I say, what he pulled off in Houston, you can't put a price tag on that. And I think it's going to be a good move for him, too. It's just like I say, copycat lead. LA has completely punted on anything related to the salary cap and related to the draft. and they just got a trophy. So I can see the rest of the team, well, not the rest of the teams, but a lot of other teams following that path going forward, or just going all in.
Jonathan, I think you're right, except for the fact that there is a price tag, and only if there's issues later that like something comes up again, like the last situation or something, something worse like that. That's the only time there becomes a where do we? That's the only con.
But there's morality clauses in most contracts, especially in the NFL. So if something else comes up to where it kicks them out of the NFL forever, they're not going to be.
But you're not getting those picks back. You're not getting those picks back. You know what I mean?
Then you start a rebuild, but it's worth it. I mean, to play scared about it.
The only way that it's not and any time that you have actual like loss is if there is something that goes wrong with that player. Because if he works out, then yes, he's worth everything that they offered for him.
And I 100% agree with you. Like that's something that we can't foresee. It's almost like if you look at what Las Vegas did, they had a emerging superstar, or not superstar, but budding young deep threat in Henry Ruggs. That's gone now. Well, he was the first receiver taken in that draft. So there's always that inherited, I guess, risk inside of it, but there's nothing you can plan for.
And then another first-round DB who brought the weapon into the strip club or whatever.
Exactly.
So
it's just nothing.
2 first-round picks out the door right away.
There's nothing that you can plan for when it comes to the draft capital or what may go wrong in the future. So you can't. It's hard to even put that into the equation, honestly.
Hey,
if you got to take a gun into a club, you shouldn't be going to the club in the first place.
I got a quick question because I think both of y'all touched on. I think both of y'all touched on this, saying how much Cleveland gave up for Deshaun Watson, and he may or may not be suspended for the season start or at any point in time, right? So my question is, and I'm not trying to poke here, but I forget when Big Ben got his little trouble, back in the day, was he suspended?
And that is a question. I think he did get suspended because he had so many things piling up, and it was like a 6-game suspension, wasn't it? I guess you can look that up.
I forget.
No, he got suspended for 6 games.
6 games. Okay, and I think the landscape of the NFL changed with the Ray Rice punch. After Ray Rice was caught on video doing that, and they only suspended him for 2 games, every suspension since then has been a lot higher when it comes to anything around misconduct outside, off the field. It's a different scope because they got the wrist slapped pretty hard when they suspended him for 2 games, and then that.
But his wife said it was okay. I'm joking. Joking.
I already told you.
I thought that was hilarious when they started coming like, she says it's all good. I'm like, okay. Like, yeah, that's all good, huh?
I will say this though, man. Like, in terms of Deshaun Watson, I got partners who live in Houston, who know Watson personally, who know Hopkins personally, and apparently Watson really ain't that type of dude just to really be out there at women like that. I'm saying, like, you got the guys who just are kind of ladies men type thing. Apparently he's not really that type. He's kind of shy and reserved, So my thing is, all these allegations didn't come out until what? After he decided he didn't want to play in Houston no more. So now all of a sudden, what I'm saying? So I mean, and I know you look at the number, what was it, 22 or something like that? And of course somebody would say, well, 22 women ain't lying. 22 people, I tell you whatever lie you need them to for the right amount of money.
The number that got me wasn't the women that came forward. It was the amount of masseurs he had gone to. You know what I mean? To me, that was like eye raising, like crazy. Like, bro, you're talking about 150? I think it was like 150 he had seen. Like,
I mean,
bro,
I don't know how true that number is, but
okay.
I do know, and I'm not being funny here. I do know a good masseuse is definitely, hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of who know what they're doing.
And he had normal ones he saw.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation. I just don't. It's a mess. You know what I'm saying? It's a mess. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, he cool. He got the bag. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to ruin him, but hey, he laughing all the way to the bank like y'all tried to play me. And guess what? You know what I'm saying? What Dave Chappelle say? I'm rich. Yeah.
Oh, you can cuss on here. I'm rich, bitch.
Oh, okay. See, you should have never said that, boy. Okay, then.
Come on.
Open the floodgates.
Donnell Rawlings.
Yeah.
Donnell Rumblings. I love it.
But yeah, man, I mean, I really hope he gets to, Cleveland, continue to ball the way he balled, unless he's playing us, and and do his thing. And actually, he going to a nice core. They got a running game, Kareem Hunt, Chubb, right.
I couldn't believe he threw him aside in the beginning. I was like, that's your best bet.
Now, right? Because OBJ and Landry gone, so who their receivers?
Well, Amari Cooper.
He can get it done.
Oh, yeah. Cooper did just go there. Okay.
You got two running backs. You can throw them the ball real quick.
And if you're thinking, if you're a free agent, if you're someone like Will Fuller, I'm going to go play with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. If you're any of the guys that are still available. I think Julio is still out there. I don't know how much you're going to get out of Julio. You might want to save him to the last 6 games of the season.
Julio back with Matt Ryan to the Colts.
That's a good point, too. So, I mean, you got a lot of good options. But I think bringing in a superstar quarterback, kind of like touching back on that first question about what's the worth of a superstar quarterback. When Brady went back to Tampa, all of a sudden all those free agents started taking those deals to go back and play with him. So now that you have Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, if you're a receiver, you see an empty receiver room, hey, I might go take a discount to go over there and play with
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, it's true.
He's one of them guys, them chasers. You know what I mean? I could see him if he's got another year back. He's shooting a shot. Before we move on to the next topic, Randon, did you want to talk to E. Kim about his all his hockey talk real quick?
No,
I do have a hockey show.
No, yeah. So
go Sharks.
I do hockey royalty for the LA Kings. I root for a team that actually has a Stanley Cup, and so we do hockey royalty every week. And I mean, I'm glad you're going to the game. I think it's the best game to watch live. It's a lot of fun. And then that arena in Chicago is legit. They sing after every single goal. It's a lot of fun. There's some good breweries in the area. Fun story. I actually went to Chicago to go to a Kings Chicago game, and I realized that the Niners were playing the Bears the same day. And that was Jimmy G's first game as a Niner. I saw that game in Chicago, and then I saw the Niners win in the morning, and then I saw the Kings win in the afternoon. So I watched 2 games in one day, got 2 dubs. It was a fun day.
I never been to a hockey game, man.
Oh, really?
I never been to a hockey game. No, I mean, I watched it.
Bro, you got to go.
I mean, and listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I only claim the Sharks because I'm from the Bay. I'm from San Francisco, so everything Niners, Giants, Warriors, Sharks, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been to a hockey game. It looked like it's a ton of fun, though. I tell you that. I don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like football in a phone booth with skates. You know what I mean? Like
and ice.
When you're watching from the outside, it's kind of like you're watching 2 people fight in a phone booth. You know what I mean? When they're going up against the glass. Oh, it's amazing.
It's fun. It's 20 minutes on, then 20 minutes to go, take a leak and grab some beer or do whatever. 20 minutes on again. Like you never miss any part of the game where other sports like you always miss to get up and get stuff. So like I've watched every single hockey game. You watch all 60 minutes, like where other sports you miss time. And when you're paying over $100 for seats, man, like you want to see the whole shebang,
I tell you what, I'm telling my age here, but the closest thing I got to hockey was back in the day playing ice hockey on Nintendo. Hey, that was my game back in the day. Well, ice hockey, Blades of Steel. Yeah. I'm OG. You feel me? So I'm not old.
I sat behind the net at an Everett Silvertips game, and if we get there before the game, everybody's practicing, and we sat down, and all these guys are missing the top of the net by that much, so it would slap the plexiglass right on our faces, right? Because they were, making sure they had their skills, to get it in that area, but they were trying to hit the glass, not the goal. You know what I mean? So they were practicing their skills, but they were trying to, and every time they'd hit the thing, I just laugh even harder. You know what I'm saying? Just giggle. Somebody crashed into the boards right in front of me, and he was on our team. He got rocked by the opposing player, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Right? And then the opposing player, whose mother is sitting over our shoulder, is like, he sees it and he's like, "Oh, this is a perfect time to get in a fight." So he flips off his gloves, and then like I was just like, seeing the guy on our team hesitate for a second, and I was like, "No," I was like, "Fuck him up." and they got in a fight. Our dude got handled. They both went through the box. Great time, Kev. I'm telling you, go have yourself
do
a
you
beer.
understand the amount of skill it would take? Fighting alone takes some skill, but fighting on ice is some skates. Hey man, listen, one false move.
I think it's more being able to have people grab onto you and tie you up, so you can't really get a good unless you get your shit free.
Which
you
can't get
that's
still skill. Well, I like it. I just like the justice of it, on ice justice, right? Like somebody wrongs you, and you're just like, you're dropping the gloves, we're fighting, and I think like life would be a lot easier. Like if you're out in the club, some dude comes up and hits you in the shoulder, right? You just grab him right by the shirt, just punch him in the face. Somebody drops, you hug it out, buy each other a beer, and move on. Like that's all it is.
The winner buys the beer.
Yeah, you just talk shit. You just talk shit in the penalty box. Talk shit in the penalty box, and then you move on. You continue with the game.
The best case of that happening in football, trying to bring it back over, was within Houston. Whenever Andre Johnson got a hold of, was it Cortland Finnegan?
Man,
that was the best. The on field literally got this little gnat bugging you, and then he finally had enough. This man who never talks, never does anything wrong, just beat the hell and took his helmet off.
You're gonna learn today.
Those are the ones you got to watch for. Those and the teddy bears. The big guys who are real nice and sweethearted and this and that. And this, you push one of them wrong, they're gonna rip your arms off and beat you to death with them. I'm just saying. You don't want to push those teddy bears because they will destroy everything.
Man. I done got caught a teddy bear so much in my life, bro. I'm saying it's
furry.
Right. Compete with the fur,
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this next one. Who do you guys think won the Watson trade? Do you think it should have been more? Do you think he could have got more? Did the case affect his value? Let's go, Jonathan.
Just kind of touching back on what we just got through covering. I think Cleveland won the trade. You can't, in my mind at least, you can't put a price tag on that 26-year-old top 8 quarterback who's going to make you competitive for the next decade, basically. And if Tom Brady and Matt Ryan are any case study, then he may even play 12 plus years. So I think they definitely won that trade. I mean, even if you get a suspension, it'll more likely be next year. And even this is his age 27 years, so you'll get him for pretty much full-time starting when he's 28. That's the peak of male performance, and he'll be 28 going over the next 10 years. So I think they for sure won. He wouldn't have been available if it wasn't for the allegations, so that is kind of driving the price down. But Houston, the first smart thing they've done probably in a decade was just holding on to him onto that roster and letting him sit there basically until everything kind of cleared the air, and then getting that value of those 3 picks and the cap space and everything when he made that trade.
I would really agree there. I think it's exactly that. And I mean, the price dropped it down, but I in Houston, because Houston said the price was 3 first-rounders 2 years ago. They stood pat. Nobody traded for him last season, so they held on to him. And they kind of stayed through it. I mean, it worked out for them. I don't know if it'll necessarily work out for the Niners sticking to whatever asking price they're doing for Jimmy G. But to bring it back to Watson, I mean, yeah, the Cleveland won this. I mean, it doesn't really matter if he plays one game the whole season or doesn't play at all. You're looking to find a decade plus talent. It's just hard to find, and you're not going to have that. And they got a decent backup in Jacoby Brissett. So even with that run game and whatever else they got going on there, they could be competitive in that division. Watson's salary we're going to get to in a little bit, but it's only $1 million this year, so the Browns can still work around Watson. And if Watson plays with that $1 million salary, it's better than a rookie contract this year. And they can make whatever move they wanted to make at the deadline to get him whoever's available and pad that team to try to win. Now, unfortunately, the Ravens and Bengals are both good in that division. And so it's a tough division to overcome if he's out 6 games or 7 games. But they're going to be competitive. And I think the salary cap or the salary for him helps. And, you got to think that he's still working on his talent, and the fact that he's out of Houston, out of all that kind of stuff, he'll still have to answer questions in Cleveland, but a fresh start mentally would probably help him as well.
Kev?
I agree. I mean, both of y'all pretty much took any answer available, but I'm gonna put my own sauce on it. I really see it like, and I'm gonna go back to the meat of this, for a minute.
Well, let me ask you a question then, Kev.
Okay.
Since we took a lot of the points here, Houston's coming out saying Davis Mills. They like Davis Mills. I mean, he's obviously not the talent of Watson yet, only after a season. But those 3 first-round picks, does this give Houston an opportunity to jumpstart their team, considering they think they have their quarterback, and to build around them a lot quicker?
I mean, it definitely gives you more ammunition, to add, talent, to the roster. I mean, but my thing is, like, I think I read somewhere it got recycled or recouped. It was like 6 picks they gave up, right? 6 picks plus all the money. Mm-hmm. So, but like some of y'all have said, who's to say either of those 6 picks are going to pan out? And not just that, with Deshaun Watson there now, that makes you that much more attractive. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't like cold weather. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big guy. I know I got a lot of extra insulation. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like cold weather like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be somewhere where it's warm most of the time. Like I'm in San Diego, and we got summer all 12 months of the year for the most part. But it makes Cleveland that much more attractive. And if you can allow yourself to look past the bullshit and just focus on what's real, what's right in front of you. Because if you think about it, Houston didn't agree to let him walk until what happened? He was cleared of all charges. So if you ask me, Houston was like, damn it, it didn't work. Okay, well, because I'm telling you, I really got this inkling in my soul that once he told them he didn't want to play there, that they made their mind up to try to ruin him. And and I could be totally wrong, and if I am, it is what it is. I'm gonna get that real talk at all times, So I really feel like they may have, cut off their nose and spiked their face, and now, Davis Mills, and then you got, maybe Jimmy might go there, So now Houston has the ability to rebuild all the way around, true, but again, who's to say that's going to work right off the bat, and then how long it's going to take to really get back to contention? Because Deshaun Watson was the only reason they have been in contention.
So,
well, it's true that they both could win this trade if those picks pan out and it could work well for Cleveland and for Houston.
Yeah. So let me speak on this. I'd like to speak on your point, Randon, or your question about the quarterback. Like Mills, whether he is or he isn't it doesn't matter. They've got all those picks. They can go pick whatever they want in the first round this year that's not a quarterback. And they could roll with Mills. They got another year to figure it out. You know what I mean? And in fact, they could have 2 more years because they could go and try and move up in the draft next year to try and capture one of the, the whatever person they like. If they're not in the range that they feel they're in, they can move up next year and pick him out. And they could still run Mills again, just to give whoever they pick some time to kind of, see what the NFL's like. You know what I mean? If they're trying to do like a Trey Lance thing where they, sit him behind a crap quarterback, you know what I mean? Because if they're going high in the draft, then they already know that Mills isn't it, right? So, you know what I mean? They could do something like that, let the guy get up to speed, understand things, figure out how to call the plays, and then, get rid of Mills and then start blossoming. The only way I think Houston could have won this trade is if they had more key weapons on their team. You know what I mean? The Browns leveraged their
players that went instead of picks too.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like the Browns have more established players that we know can be good.
Right.
But you know what I mean? So them leveraging them leveraging their future for that it's not as bad because they're only 1-2 pieces away. You know what I mean? The Houston Texans are many pieces away, and I don't know if all the picks that they got for Deshaun Watson can make them as viable a team as the Browns are. Randon, I seen you hand your hand up.
Yeah. So if the question is who
Kev,
won this,
if the question
who won this trade this year, it's easily the Browns, and I think it's the Browns regardless. But if you're saying all time, if Mills is that guy, I think Mills was the best rookie quarterback last season.
Really?
And I think he was a 5-star recruit out of high school.
Wait, real quick. What made you think he was the best last season? Not pushback. I just want to hear.
Yeah, because so his yards per game that he started, his touchdowns per throw were all on par with Mac Jones, and everybody thought Mac Jones was the truth last season. I thought Fields and everything like that had trouble with his head coach and getting on par. He did have flashes, like higher end flashes, but there were games where Mills against top defenses threw for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, and so he was a 5-star recruit out of high school. He ran into injuries at Stanford. That's why he only played 12 games. You could make the same argument if he stayed in college, just like Trey Lance stayed in college, he'd be the number 1 overall pick this season if he played for Stanford this season. So all those things come into play where he's a really good mind. And I personally, before the Niners made the move up to go get the 3rd overall pick, I was advocating for them to take Davis Mills at the end of the 2nd or early 3rd to back up for Jimmy, because then you really could have a tutelage type moment. Jimmy would be the starter. You have Davis Mills, who would have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick, backing up a guy. Nobody would have said any word the wiser that why is Davis Mills not starting because of his draft capital. But then you work your way in there. They still have the opportunity under a rookie contract, which is the most valuable thing in the NFL for a quarterback. If they hit on these first round picks, we saw what Nick Bosa did for the Niners. If they hit on these first round picks and this team wins 6 games next year and they have some good weapons, Brandon Cooks goes for over 1,000 yards, then maybe they're a free agent destination, because the AFC South is garbage. So they could easily push themselves up into a situation where you're talking about at the 4th year of Davis Mills' contract, they could be a playoff contender, if not a Super Bowl contender, because it doesn't take that long. If you look at the history of the NFL, every season besides 2 in the last 20 years, a team who was a bottom feeder in a division made the playoffs the next following season. So it doesn't take that long to turn around because of free agency and what high draft capital can do, because most of your draft picks are out of college. You know what you're getting, except for in other sports like hockey or basketball or baseball, you have to let them marinate in your minor league system. The college and NCAA college is that minor league system. And so turnarounds can happen rather quickly. And if Houston can hit these picks, it could benefit both franchises equally.
Does anybody have anything else they want to say on this topic?
I just want to
go ahead, Jonathan.
I want to touch on again on Cleveland, how they won the trade. We've seen Stefanski work with Kirk Cousins and pretty much turn him into that Pro Bowl quarterback and put up huge numbers. And with that system, with that zone-based, play-action-heavy system, we haven't seen a quarterback of Deshaun Watson's talent play in that system. And now you add Amari Cooper, they may be able to get something out of Njoku. I'm excited to see what it can be, because you have a legitimate quarterback that can move just as well as Nick Chubb and just as well as Kareem Hunt with a good route runner and Cooper. So I just think it just adds to the possibility of a trade even more when you take that all into considerations.
Kev?
Sorry. What I was going to say, I've been trying to hold on to it for a minute, man. But man, I pay attention. I don't know if it's the Virgo in me or what, but man, when did you make that Jimmy has no trade value?
Once you made your screen bigger, I saw it for the first time at the.
You're right. Hey, no, I'm like, yo, wait a minute, what does that?
That's been up there for probably 2 weeks.
Yo, I mean, but it's random as hell. You feel me? I was like, I'm just looking at the background like Jimmy has.
I thought about changing it for every show.
You're the GOAT,
to have
bro.
something.
No, leave it just like that.
It's the only thing in the back of my mind lately. So I was like, nah.
Well,
Till that bitch gone.
I gotta ask all 3 of y'all a question. I got the biggest screen because most folks love this. Of the 3 of you guys, have y'all seen the Squid Game on Netflix?
Oh,
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Jonathan, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Just stay with me. Jump in the Patrick Silverado and stay with me. Yes, I drive a Silverado. So listen, on Squid Game, you remember the game where they did play where it was 2 columns? It was all glass, right? And you had to jump on the glass to see which one is gonna save your life, right? So certain glass could hold the weight of 2 people, but certain glass couldn't hold the weight of 1, right? So you never know, based upon your jump, whether you're going to live or you're going to die, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
I give you Jimmy Garoppolo. That's Jimmy Garoppolo down in down after down, you don't know whether or not he's going to turn the ball over or he's going to make the play of his life. And that's just frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So, Jimmy, Squiddy G, I forgot who it was on Twitter. One of my partners started calling him Squiddy G, but that's why he called him Squiddy G instead of Lemmy G. But I'm telling you, that's what being a fan with Jimmy G as quarterback is like. That game on Squid Game. You may jump one time, woo, I lived. You may jump, woo, I lived again. That third time, though, pick six, so you dead. You know, or interception, so you dead. And I just want to take a minute to say that, man. That's what being a fan of the Niners is like with Jimmy Garoppolo is. Life is like a box of Jimmy Garappolos. You never know what you're going to get.
Never saw
listen, he will literally wow you one play or one down. And next thing, in the blink of a damn eye, for example, and I hate to do it like this. I think the Chicago game, he threw that beautiful ball to Debo, which was slightly underthrown, but he caught it right in the breadbasket. Cool. What did he do the very next play?
Interception. He
missed Debo on an out route, on like a little jig route on the goal line, and he missed him. And I'm just like, what? You know, or the interception he threw versus the Titans when Kittle was never open, and he watched him not be open and still threw. So like, I'm not going to perpetuate that, but I'm saying Squid Game, Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a nutshell. That's what it's like being a 49er fan with Jimmy Garoppolo. Squid Game.
All right. First thing I want to say, what's up, David? I haven't seen you here before.
Hey, Dave. That's my real talk, not a talk brother. What up, Dave?
What up, David? Yeah, man.
OG.
He's the OG, huh? All right. Original.
Yeah,
is this OG Bobby Johnson?
That's a Super Dave, the OG.
Oh, shit. You OG Bobby Johnson.
I don't know. Aces, no deuces. Yeah, man.
Wait. Deuce.
Right.
Sorry, deuce.
Deuce here.
Deuce.
Yeah. Hey, man, and I know you heard, you look like Ryan Fitzpatrick's little cousin.
Bro.
On his mother's side.
I like Fitzpatrick. He's got the heart of a plumber. Like, he doesn't care. He is in there. If he has to touch shit, he's going to do it as long as it's for the team because he's all in. All right? Next topic.
Right.
Now, with Watson's contract, the totally guaranteed money, how is this going to change the game of football forever? Like, I think I
do have a question.
Change? It's changing.
Because it seems like y'all may be more, informed about this than I am. So when they say in football, they say guaranteed money, right? So $230 million. Does that mean that he's going to get all that $230 million for the life of the contract, or his account has $230 million in it right now? Like, how does that work when it's fully guaranteed? Is it just per year, or just that total amount?
So signing bonus,
signing
bonus is different than guaranteed money. So signing bonus is paid at the signing bonus money is at the beginning of the contract, and you can separate and you can push it to whatever year you want. So like when people restructure, like that's what they're doing. They're taking that money, signing it, and then pushing that cap hit down the road. But guaranteed money is just his dead money is all paid for. So if he tears his ACL every single year for his entire life of his contract, he's getting all that money. So the only way out of it is if he retires,
or there's some kind of like
for his case morality clause, because there's morality clauses in every contract. But it's pretty much
like baseball money, bro. That's baseball money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for his contract, he wasn't the first one. Kirk Cousins had a fully guaranteed contract, pretty much, and then you're looking at like quarterbacks now for the most part.
$230 million though.
No, but Kirk Cousins has made more money for a quarterback that hasn't won a lot of playoff games than any other quarterback I've ever seen. So,
it's so was Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl, brother.
He has 2 rings and has been to a Super Bowl that he didn't win. So he's been to 3 Super Bowls altogether.
Kirk Cousins ain't done that. So, although I would take Kirk Cousins over Jimmy G. But anyways, we'll go
any day.
Me too. Okay.
But what I'm saying is that the quarterback position generally is is a non-injury position for the most part. Like it's the lowest odds of being injured outside of special teamers. And so like, why not make the most, the most important position, a fully guaranteed position? Now, where it was for a little bit, like when the Vikings got it as like a bargaining chip, like he took less money to make it fully guaranteed so they could fit other people on the contract. Watson didn't do that. I mean, Cleveland just flat out just put the Brinks truck back up to his front door. So, so it just, for me, it's like, it might be the new norm. The only other like quarterbacks that might not get it are like the Lamar Jacksons because they're at a higher injury risk. But for the most part, I think it could be the new norm for quarterbacks.
Yeah, and kind of looking at this particular situation, it was different because if you think about the day before this news broke, he had just ruled Cleveland out of the sweepstakes for his services, which was smart because he forced their hand. So basically, he wanted to play at a dome team like Atlanta or New Orleans, where you have control, like you're not in the cold. So basically, you don't play outdoors. When in Cleveland, how can we get you here? Oh, fully guaranteed $230 million. Oh, bet I'll be there tomorrow. So
to make your point, Jonathan, I'm going to interject here a little bit. Is that you heard like with the DeForest Buckner trade that John Lynch said, "Hey, like we're not going to pay you over $20 million. If you can get $20 million from somebody else, like facilitate that trade." His agent actually facilitated the trade to Indianapolis, from what I've heard, and so that's a completely possible that Watson's agent facilitated this whole thing to Cleveland, getting him fully guaranteed.
That's an agent's job. Yeah,
it was 100%.
Give me my money.
100% smart move.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It was 100% a smart move on his side because you publicly tell everyone, hey, I'm not going to Cleveland. They're out of the sweepstakes. Even after Baker writes his love letter, he says, I'm out of it. And then the very next day, $230 million guaranteed. So he just pretty much forced their hand. It was a smart thing to do. I don't think it was smart for Cleveland to do it in this particular situation because it was hard to get people to come out there, but now it won't be so hard to get people out there. But other teams moving forward, I don't think we'll see this being the norm. With the Kirk Cousins situation, it was different because of what the Washington R-words did with him in the past. They franchised him back-to-back. And when they franchised him back-to-back, it was pretty much a fully guaranteed contract at that point. So every contract he signed moving forward from there was like, hey, I want that franchise tag number. And Minnesota gave him that. So that's why I think he's set to make $231 million over the life of his career. It's almost fully guaranteed. So it's something that we don't think about a lot when you think about Kirk Cousins, but he just played it right. Dak Prescott played it right in Dallas the same way. Franchise tag, and then once you're out of options, you've got to give me the bag. So same thing Deshaun Watson did there. I don't think it's going to be the norm. Other team players will try to use that leverage, and I think Kyler is probably definitely paying attention right now in Arizona. But I just don't see that desperation being there with the other teams moving forward.
Yeah, but the healthcare of a toddler is different than a healthcare of a real quarterback.
Oh,
Kyler's in the chat. Kyler's in the chat. He wants to talk to you.
First thing, I wouldn't pay Kyler the bag, fully guaranteed this and that. Not like first thing. Also, I spoke on this. We talked about this one time. But like, if you're Kyler, why are you trying to get the bag prematurely before you've gone to the payday, to the promised land? If you go to the promised land, you're going to get a bigger payday. It's easier to say, hey, you need to pay me this because I'm a Super Bowl winner, bro. Instead of, hey, you need to pay me this because I could win a Super Bowl, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, but
because this ain't Madden. Like, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. You know, like. And for him to get guaranteed money with his size and all that kind of stuff like that, I think he's doing the right thing. I don't think he'll get guaranteed money, but yeah, I mean, anyways, to wait for a Super Bowl. I mean, what, like for a while, the only people who did win a Super Bowl were Big Ben, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady for over a decade. Like, it's not very easy to win a Super Bowl. So like to hinge your salary negotiations on a maybe.
Well, they were very close, smart. And then he was trash. Hold on, here, Kev.
Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Big screen.
Look at Rodgers, man. Look at Rodgers. I mean, and all his glory. And I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. And all his glory, he only has one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, although you may be this great quarterback, which he is, and he only has one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I can't wait to see what happens this year with Aaron Rodgers. You know,
hey Kev, why is Aaron Rodgers trying to morph into like a shitty looking version of Keanu Reeves?
I'll let that man live.
Jonathan.
Hey, I like Point Break. No, you know, the Matrix.
Utah.
Hey, man, listen. Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, knowing who the man is, who the individual is, and Aaron Rodgers now, I don't regret it. But picking Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers when we did, that didn't sit well with me at all for a long time. And shout out to Alex Smith. He's from San Diego. You know, I'm not from here, but I live here. You know what I'm saying? And I know people who knew him or who played with him. You know what I'm saying? But nah, that was a wrong decision. But knowing who he is as a person, I kind of get why people maybe didn't really fuck with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Because apparently, once he got his bag, and they told him, well, you know, because of you getting your bag so big and your bag so full, we might have to lose, Adams. He's like, well, shit, I got my bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at this point, you ask me, it's about money. It's about money for him. You know, he want to get everything he can, and I don't blame him for that. But he's just so smug, bro. Just Aaron Rodgers just
he's
I
talking
like
out
confidence.
both sides of his mouth at the same time. He's like, you know, I want to go to a place where I can win a championship, you know, win a Super Bowl. But yet at the same time, you're taking up all the resources to do that. Like, what are you trying to do? You know, but also at the same, Randon, we were
scored
talking
3
about
points
this
against us in the playoffs.
Yeah, Randon, we were talking about this. Was it the GM just not allocating the money correctly?
Well, it was kind of I don't know if there was communication or not, but I think you look at a lot of I watch a little bit of the Pat McAfee show, and he's on there every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think Aaron Rodgers is a lonely guy. Like you just had he doesn't have a lot of friends in the locker room. That's maybe because of his personality or whatever. The only 2 friends that he did have were Davante Adams and Cobb. And Davante Adams flat out said, I'd rather play with Aaron Rodgers on any team than play for Green Bay. I'll follow him where he goes. And then Aaron Rodgers like, oh, I'm going to take $50 million and our team can't resign, Davante Adams. He put himself above Adams is what it looks like. Who knows if that's how it went down behind closed doors or in contract negotiations. But it seemed like
contracts can be structured different ways. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because they try to franchise tag Davante Adams, which is fully guaranteed money, so you can't restructure that any different way. So,
no, I'm talking about like Aaron Rodgers. You can structure Aaron Rodgers a different way to, you know what I mean? To like,
yeah, you could. But for what I'm saying is this is like he chose him over, like Kev said, he chose him over the team. But not everybody's Tom Brady. Not everybody has Giselle making $400 million off her brassieres for the last decade. So, get his money while it lasts. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers was, on par to be the Jeopardy host, but networks with all the stuff about him coming out, like being anti-vax or whatever, like they probably shy away from that now. He probably won't get a broadcasting job for a long time. Like this might be his last chance to get the bag. And coming out of a failed engagement, like he's probably like, hey, I got to think about me, And so who knows? Like nobody really knows Aaron Rodgers besides his true friends. And I know Pat McAfee and I believe what is that guy Hawk? His last name is AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk.
AJ Joe are
AJ
friends with
Hawk.
Him. And
he's got
so,
the
like,
fucked up fingers. He's the double foot driver.
But I don't really know. Like there's a lot of people who are misconstrued, like that you don't really know who they are outside of their public life with being famous. And so who knows if he's really a bad guy? Who knows if that's how he feels? But he's being portrayed that way, the villain in Green Bay. And so we'll see how this all works out.
Okay. So moving on to the 4th question, an hour in. But I'm having a great time. I think we're really talking about some good shit here. The Seahawks essentially are rebuilding. They didn't make the move for Watson. DK is still on their roster. Will they trade for Baker? Will they keep DK? Leroy Butler from Green Bay wants Green Bay to trade for DK Metcalf. If you're the Seattle Seahawks, what do you do at this point in time? Jonathan, let's go with you.
I think I have heard that they have Lockett on the market. Basically, you say if you want to come get him because of that.
Okay. Why would you trade Lockett over if you're truly rebuilding, right? Why would you trade Lockett over DK when you can get more for DK And Lockett is he's at the end of his career. You might as well just let him finish there as a Seahawk. He's still talented. It'll give whoever is at the helm this year, everybody's looking at Locke. It'll give Locke a weapon still. You know what I mean? And you can capitalize on DK, get more draft picks to start over fresh and young like they did in 2011.
Yeah, I 100% agree that DK holds the most value, especially when you're a team that's rebuilding. DK is the bigger piece. I think Lockett's contract is what makes him a better, I guess, trade option at that point. But at the same time, when it comes to DK, since that was the question was centered around, I 100% agree that when we've seen DK, I'm a huge DK guy, but when you watch him on the sidelines when things aren't going his way, he has that diva, slamming my helmet. I think him and Russell got into like a verbal deal that was pretty public. So can you imagine a whole season of that while you're rebuilding? He's
got like a third of Jalen Ramsey in him.
Yeah, and I mean, and he's a complete amazing talent. Like he's that broadsword that's going to run down the field when you need him to do it. So huge piece, and I agree with not getting rid of him, but trying to see what you can get for him because you don't want to put Drew Lock through that, especially if you know it's going to be a rough couple of years and you got him blowing up on the sideline every game. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead and move and see what you can get for him. There's only one DK in the league right now, so I agree. Yeah, go ahead and make that move, especially if you're in a full rebuild, which it feels like, but it's also scary when you have a 71-year-old coach. Is he going to stick around for that full rebuild? But they got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I think they for sure just need to just pretty much take it down to the ground and start over.
Kev, what do you think? With Pete Carroll being 71, but acting like one of the youngest coaches in the league, what do you think they should do?
Hey, Pete Carroll went to high school with Moses. I do old as hell, man. I don't know how much more time he got left, but a rebuild right now at 71, I'm not sure how much of that you're going to see. But you ask me, I think he's made his mind up. Like, you know what? Hey, I got one Super Bowl. I've had my time. I'm going to just do what I can while I can. And everything must go. It's like a fire sale. I mean, they traded Russell Wilson. So the rest of y'all are expendable. You know what I'm saying? Like we traded Russell Wilson, so
and then cut Bobby Wagner without even saying anything, without even calling the man first.
And that's so just hey, they kind of did Sherm like that too. Sherm didn't really find out about what was going on until it was too late. You know what I'm saying? So
but Bobby was more key than Sherm. I'm from the Northwest up here. I'm living up here.
My point is,
yeah,
he was a pivotal part to that defense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was a pivotal part to the team.
Like, I mean, and like I forgot what Alice said a couple of weeks ago, that said that they lost their quarterback on offense and on defense on the same day. And what's great, was ironic is they came to the team on the same day. So I'm just like, man, you cut B Wags? Oh man. And he's still unsigned right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what y'all gonna do? I mean, I'm glad it happened because it's on our division, so Drew Lock. When nobody Wags, you might as well put them W's on the schedule for right now. You know what I'm saying?
See what Ekim said?
I really won't have money.
He said that Seattle traded their best player in history and released their second best player in the same day.
Hey, you know what?
It's facts.
Don't sleep on Sean Alexander. No.
The running back?
Over Bobby Wagner. I'm just fucking with it, people.
Sean Alexander was good for a couple years. That boy, that man went soft. That man went soft. He started seeing shadows. He
was harder than Fibbiacci in the Playboy Mansion. Okay, so that guy could run.
No, he could. But at the end, he wasn't trying to see any contact. He'd be like, "Oh shit, there's three guys. I'm in the backfield. Lay down."
I think didn't Seattle have a running back in the day? Was it Derek Finner?
Lynch.
Was it? I think it was Derek Finner. Either Derek Finner, Derek Finicky. I think it was the name of Derek Finner. But Derek Finner was nice too. But no, but Marshawn Lynch. I'm like, hey man, beast mode. Hey,
that man.
I'm from the Bay, so I know he's a killer sometimes, but Marshawn Lynch is the realest NFL player I've ever seen.
I love his style of play.
He don't care who interviewing him. Barack Obama, You know, Jesus.
Conan O'Brien. Watch him on Conan O'Brien clips. That shit is hilarious.
Hey, he gonna be who he is regardless. Did you see Marshawn Lynch on the what's that show? Man vs. Wild? Oh my God, man. Look.
Yep.
Hey, Marshawn Lynch is the realest dude on the planet. Or actually, his interview with Peyton Manning, they was doing a little show. When Peyton asked him, "What pregame rituals do you have?" He was like, "Oh, you know, I always take a shot or shot and a half before the game." Peyton's like, "A shot of what?" But Marshawn Lynch look at a shot of what? Hennessy. What else? Come on, man. Only a real one talk to you like that. But he talked like that to everybody, bro. Like I said, Jesus, God, Moses. He gonna talk the same way he is to anybody he talked to, and I love it about him. You know what I'm saying? So, and he played the same way. He played carefree, and he saved most of his money. Cortez Kennedy, yeah.
And then Walter Jones. They love Walter Jones up here. Also, Tuiasa Tisopo. Tuiasa Tisopo. They love that guy.
The receiver up in Seattle,
yes,
man.
Yes.
Doug
Baldwin? Yeah.
No. The old school. He was on the top 100. It's number 80. He was number 80.
Guy, man. I can't think of
he was the guy.
Now.
Somebody got
it. Hey, Dave, you in here, Dave? What's his name, Dave? You in here, Dave? God damn it. The receiver from Largent, Steve Largent.
Steve Largent, yep.
Tecmo Bowl, he was a guy on Tecmo Bowl.
Dude, if you haven't seen the clip of him tackling the guy, hitting the guy who caught the interception. So a year before this play, he got knocked out and carried off the field on a stretcher because of this defensive back. Well, a year later, Steve Largent's back on the field. The defensive back catches the interception. Steve Largent comes over, puts the hammer down, and picks up the fumble. And I'm talking about puts the fucking hammer down. Steve Largent, 5'0", got a heart of a plumber. He's touching the shit. He don't give a damn.
Dead plumber, baby. Dead plumber.
I'm telling you.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, Seattle has had some players over the years, man. I'm saying, but they was never our nemesis like that until they got a Russell Wilson. I mean, what are you like 16-4 against us? That's crazy. That's nuts.
Let's see. Anybody got?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to the question here.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's do it. So I would trade Tyler Lockett over DK Metcalf, and here's why. I think the fact that the salary for wide receivers is going to go up. So if you're trying to make a move for a receiver, you're looking at Tyler Lockett, still 29, but his contract not that bad, right? $10 million this year, $16 million next year, and then you can have a potential out where the dead cap's only $14 million for the 32-year and 33-year-old of his season. Even then, 2 years from now, the cap of $23 million ain't bad with how fast the salary cap's going up. With how much these receivers are getting money, if DK were to go to a team this year, you'd be looking at maybe $35 million for a wide receiver. At that point, would he get that much? Maybe not. I don't know, but you'd be paying way more in the long run. If you need a wide receiver now who's salary cap control to a team that's contending, it's going to be Tyler Lockett because he can still take the roof off the defense. He's a quality pass catcher. If you look at his stats going on for the last couple of years, you're looking at 110, 132, 107 targets, and that is with DK Metcalf on the team, all over 1,000 yards. And so he's Hot Lockett's the man. And he can do that to anybody. And if you see like a team that would need a wide receiver who can take the roof off it, I mean, Green Bay's there. Before the Chiefs signed what's his face, I thought that would be a good opportunity for Hot Lockett to go there to the Chiefs. Yeah. I mean, I know it's kind of similar wide receiver as Tyreek Hill, so maybe they both can't run down the field at the same time. But for me, he's the easier trade. Yeah, you still could probably get a first for Tyler Lockett because of 3 straight seasons of over 1,000 yards. Yeah, he's a little bit older, but you already know what his salary is. You don't know what the market's going to dictate for a wide receiver with the salary cap going up for DK Metcalf at this point. Especially if Deebo Samuel signs first, then you're looking at even more money going to DK.
I got a question for you though, bro. And this is me being a football guy, just student of the game, play the game, coach the game at the youth level. So here's my question, because my son,
oh no,
he my child. He a Seahawks fan, right? So we talked about this on many occasions. Russell Wilson has, and fight if you want to, but he has about the best deep ball of any quarterback in the game, right? Like Russell, he can tell you to run whatever route you want to run. You can be blindfolded. When he say now, you put your hands out, the ball is typically there, right? So my thing is, how much of the success of Lockett and Metcalf was on Russell Wilson versus the receiver? Don't get me wrong, Lockett is a better route runner than Metcalf. Metcalf is a more physical specimen than Lockett. But how much of their success was predicated upon Russell Wilson? Because I guarantee you they won't have the same success with Drew Lock.
No, but how much of Russell Wilson's success is predicated on Tyler Lockett knowing where to go when he's scrambling outside the pocket? So Russell Wilson has led the NFL. He's top 10 in sacks by a quarterback every single season he's been in the NFL because he likes to scramble outside the pocket. Part of scrambling drills is the wide receiver finding those locations. And so, yeah, you're 100%. Like their mind meld on where they were going to be on the field at any given point is 100%. One, both of their talent. Two, their mind meld. And Russell Wilson be able to throw the deep ball. But like another team that I just thought of, like Indy, like Julio Jones is a deep ball threat, and Matt Ryan never stepped a foot outside the pocket a day in his life, but he was schemed open all the time. Like that could be a location where I could see Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf go, because you have Michael Pittman, who's a possession receiver, and you could have Lockett take the top off of it. Yeah, a lot of the success was on the scrambling plays because of the mind meld, but it doesn't mean they're not good receivers to begin with.
Oh no, I'm just saying Wilson's ball placement is impeccable.
Or Cleveland, because Amari Cooper is a route running technician, and you need a guy to take the top off of it. You could go Lockett or DK there, and have Wilson who has the same, or Watson who has the same sort of like after the play it breaks down mentality outside the pocket. But I think the deep ball accuracy is one thing, but most of the time Lockett's 15 yards open, and because they're running out. And I'm not saying that he's not a good deep ball thrower by that statement. I'm just saying that both help each other. Like you can't. He's not doing it himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Facts. Okay. I mean, look, man. If it's me, and I had to choose between Lockett and Metcalf, based on what I had already, I might be inclined to go Lockett, just because he's a smaller, shiftier guy. He can play in the slot or outside. He's smaller, but he can just do more. And don't get me wrong, DK Metcalf is just a dude's a linebacker playing receiver, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I would take Lockett before I take Metcalf. But also, my point is,
Lockett's last year of ability might have been last year. Like you also got to understand, Lockett ain't a big guy. Lockett's a small guy, and he's been hit, and he's older, and there at some point he's going to fall off. And
he's missed 2 games in the last 4 years. Like,
same thing been saying with Russell, and then all of a sudden things had happened. I'm just saying, look,
because of a fracture in his finger, that's not an injury that's his fault.
No, but they were saying, oh, we don't have to worry about Russell because Russell always plays. This is what I hear up here by Seahawks fans, right? And I was just going, bro, that's just saying, you're just kicking the can down the road. It's going to happen. This is football. You know what I'm saying? And with Lockett, you're talking about, yeah, he's only missed 2 games. You know what I mean? That's amazing for how small he is. He might be tall, but he is not built. He is a skinny guy. I don't know how he stayed on the field as long as he had in this division, essentially. You know what I mean? With the headhunters that we have in this division, back in that secondary and all the teams. Yeah.
I don't know. He's 5'10", 190. Like you look at every wide receiver coming out of this draft was the skinniest draft like that you've ever seen. I mean, and so
that doesn't mean that they're not going to get broke.
But that's
what year is he?
So in every
is
single
year?
If every single study that has been done with hockey, and I know it's different sport than football, size has no prevalence to injury. So it's a non-factor in hockey. So I assume it's got to be similar to football, that the size doesn't matter with as far as injury is concerned, as far as it doesn't have a direct correlation to any of that.
I don't know. I've seen smaller people snap their collarbones on plays where other people didn't. You know,
and
what
I've
I mean?
seen 7-foot centers in basketball barely be able to take a step and they tear their ACL. So,
well, there's a difference between bone and ligament in that situation.
Injury's an injury. You're out. So
right, but like bone density, you got a bigger dude who's got more denser bones. It's going to be harder to fracture that bone. It's going to be the same when it comes to essentially ligaments, except for when you're talking about like a pregnant woman who has more elasticity in her ligaments.
I don't know why a pregnant woman would ever enter an NFL discussion, but you got to say.
Well, so when a woman's pregnant, her pelvic bone is in 3 different pieces.
That was a joke. You didn't have to go to a science.
So the ligament. Well, I did this in high school. You know, I took the class, but
you were a pregnant woman in high school.
He said I did this.
Yes. Some people carry around a fake egg and have to do that with a month. No, I just totally went full woman. But no, they're for their joints. Their ligaments actually get way more elastic, so they can actually pass the baby through the birth canal. So that's why they say women should work out while they're pregnant, but they shouldn't do like extra strenuous stuff because they can overstretch their ligaments and like rupture their,
I'm going to need another beer if we're going to continue down this
I'm done. We can move to the next topic.
Anatomy. Okay.
We can move to the next topic. Did the Colts pull the best move of the offseason so far with getting rid of Wentz for 2/3 and only using one of their thirds to get Matt Ryan? What are your thoughts? I'm gonna go with Jonathan first. He's been quiet here. I want to get him back in here. Let's get that Jonathan energy up and going.
I feel like it's hard to say they made the best move of the offseason because there were definitely better players that are more teams that have made better moves with better players, especially out there in the AFC West. When you look at what those teams are doing, complete overhauls of talents and bringing in a lot of Super Bowl talent on those teams. But when you look at what they did, bringing in Matt Ryan, they took a position where they had a guy in Carson Wentz is kind of a wildfire. You never know what he's going to do. It may be a touchdown. It may be a lateral backwards to a linebacker. so they have a consistent player at that position now. You have a running back who's probably number 1 in the league right now next to Derrick Henry. And you have a defense that forces turnovers. So you have a solid team now. In the AFC South, that's pretty weak right now, too. The Tennessee looks like a good team, but they always appear to fall apart late in the season. So the AFC South is definitely there for the taking. And you got Matt Ryan in-house now. It kind of reminds me of what LA did, bringing in Stafford, who's always been this good quarterback, but we never really hear much about him being a championship winner. But now you put him on a roster with Taylor and that defense, and you never know, especially in that division, they may come out on top. So I think it was a solid move. I can't say it was the best move when you look at what's happening in the West, but it was definitely a solid move and something they definitely won.
Who wants to go next?
Look.
All right. Kev?
I think Matt Ryan may be more geared toward what Frank Wright wants to do within the scope of his offense. They're not really – Carson Wentz, I wouldn't put him quite in the Jimmy G category, but he's not far. You know what I'm saying? But
worse, much worse.
It depends on what you're looking for, though. If you're looking for a mobile quarterback, he's got a little bit more mobility, but he makes worse decisions. So, Jimmy got a faster release. So,
Jimmy G?
Huh? No, yeah, he makes worse decisions. Yeah. Watch Pat McAfee.
He had 6 interceptions last year.
And what Pat McAfee said, and how he explained his ordeal with watching his team go, was that there might have been 6 interceptions, but there was 28 of them that weren't caught by the DBs.
There's still
it's a Jimmy G situation, but Jimmy threw more picks than they actually caught him. So you know what I'm saying?
Well, do I think they upgraded from going from Wentz to Matty Ice? Yes. Do I think Matty Ice is more like Matty Ice Water at this point in time in his career? Yes. But he's still a better, goal than Carson Wentz. So if you're looking for get the ball out quick, decision making, get the ball to the right spot, yes, Matty Ice is going to do, just fine up there. John Taylor run a game, but they got
John
Pittman.
Taylor going to take a lot off that. You know what I mean? A lot of stress off that offense.
But I do feel now that they are in a better situation with Matt Ryan than they are with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, they're only on hook out of that $45 million I think that he was owed. The Colts are only on hook for half that. You get to keep a second-round pick out of what you got for Washington, so you're only really you pretty much got rid of Wentz and acquired a second-round pick, which you can't be too mad about that. No, they acquired a second because it was a second and a third because
it's 2/3 in a conditional that turns into a conditional second. So it's essentially 2/3 right
Wentz, now. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm planning on Wentz playing 75% of the games because
was that the condition?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that was the condition, but still, it's still 2/3.
Anyway, whatever. My point is like they pretty much upgraded quarterback and acquired a pick for less money because Wentz was owed $33 million. So it's a no-brainer there. I think, to be honest with you, like Matt Ryan has had a history of having receivers like a dominant number one wide receiver, whether it be Roddy White with possession or Julio Jones with the downfield threat.
White. Wow.
So I think, and I'm calling it right now. If you're in fantasy, Michael Pittman's going to be a top 10 wide receiver next season because he had. Let me go with a garbage quarterback. Had 129 targets and 88 receptions for 1,082 and 6, and that was with crappy wins. So. Like Matt Ryan, you could see him getting 150 targets and a lot more downfield throws. I think they need to get a wide receiver at the pick 42 to help alleviate that. You have Jonathan Taylor, who is the best running back in the NFL this last season. The only person stopping them from winning that division is the reigning best running back in the NFL, Derrick Henry. See if he can come back off that injury. But that division's wide open. Their defense is good. They just need somebody to tear the roof off the defense. And there's plenty of guys with 4.2, 4.3 speed in this draft. You have guys that can have possession, and then you have Gigantor Moy Ali Cox, who's like 6'11" or whatever, and like 400 pounds playing tight end, and he could do wonders out there. So I think that team is poised to win that division because it's so weak. And Matt Ryan will have the easiest job being quarterback that he's had in the last 4 years because Atlanta's been a dumpster fire. So he's going to be in a fantastic situation there.
Now, I did see a report today that said, like predicting free agents going to what landing spots. If I remember right, the report I saw had both Jarvis Landry and OBJ going to the Colts. So I mean that's too much. That's 2 more toys for for Matt Ryan. And so you put other receivers around him other than just Pittman. You never know. Well, Taylor in the backfield, and I mean, hey, you're rocking a little bit, So this has been one of the craziest off seasons I've ever seen at the quarterback position, and just big names just kind of just moving along. And it's like, like the AFC West is loaded now. It's
the best. That's the best division of football.
You're right.
Definitely for quarterbacks. Yeah.
So, Kev, do you think that's the best quarterback four tandem that you've seen in the NFL ever?
Russell Wilson, Herbert,
Allen,
Derek Carr,
and Mahomes.
And Allen.
Derek Carr is the fourth. Derek Carr is in the basement, of course. But look at the defenses. The Chargers. They just added Khalil Mack. to go with Joey Bosa. And then you got in Denver, you already had
But they were trash all year. So you're adding one person to their defense, and all of a sudden now they're going to be a winner.
J.C. Jackson over there now too, at corner.
Okay.
Derwin James already in the secondary.
You're right.
You know, I mean, hey man, look. I'm just mad they got so much better the year we played them.
It seemed like there was more things fundamentally wrong.
I think that Jonathan and everybody else can agree here that the AFC got a lot stronger and the NFC got a lot weaker. So,
yeah. So, I mean, look, man, as far as the NFC right now, it's the Bucs and Tom Brady, and I mean, I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a great regular season quarterback.
It's the Rams, Bucs, Dallas, and us are the only teams that.
See, Dallas ain't showed me enough to really worry me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no disrespect to you, John. You know what I'm just saying, the Rams, I don't know. I really think that they got the issue last year. I really feel like that was it. You got your home Super Bowl. Okay, now go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Dallas has got the team minus the coach.
If I could
get rid of Zeke too, I would. If I could get rid of Zeke and his contract, I would.
So let me ask Jonathan this, because we've been talking about the Niners a lot. Do you think Dak's that man? Do you think Dak's the quarterback to lead you? Because he seems like a good stat quarterback where he's able to hit a lot of the throws. He was on pace for 6,000 yards before he got injured. But do you think he's the leader that could lead Dallas to a Super Bowl?
I do believe so, especially when you look at the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in the past. So you've had Nick Foles win a Super Bowl, Eli Manning won too. So when you have the talent in place and you're the leader of a team, you definitely can win a Super Bowl. So I don't think it's a question if he can. With this team in general, even when we went to the same thing with Romo, when it came late in the season, it just seems like it falls apart every single time. I don't know if it's an actual curse that we need to break or what it is, but I believe in him for sure, because he has the top 10 talent. We've seen it all come through before. It's just that late season, I would love to buy McCarthy a plane ticket out of here whenever he's ready to go. But it seems like that seems to be our main problem, just the overall organization just falling apart when it comes to late in the season. I do believe in it, as you can tell by my poster up here.
You know what, John, man? I'm going to tell you like this, man. I'm not going to lie to you and my fellow Niner fans watching this and you're on the panel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wasn't sure about the Dallas game. I wasn't. I really wasn't sure because Dallas had a squad. And it really seems like Dallas is cool until they get hit in the mouth. And we hit you on the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, Debo took that game over. And like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. And y'all got hit in the mouth, and it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely one of the scariest things about this team, too, especially when going back to Dak. It's like it feels like he needs the receiver to be open. He needs to. Amari Cooper was his perfect receiver. Cole Beasley was his perfect receiver because he needs him to be open so he can have that safe throw. When he goes through his reads, if he sees you're covered, he's going to come off of you. Whereas Aaron Rodgers, he goes through his reads. He sees three people on Devontae Adams. He's still throwing it to Devontae Adams. He doesn't have that gunslinger mentality. It's hard to say that you want him to have that gunslinger mentality because you'll see something like Jimmy G where he throws it into triple coverage. But Dak has a more of that safe, I don't want to call him a game manager because we've seen him almost throw for, like you say, 6,000 yards. So that's hard to put that game manager tag on him. But he definitely will go through the read and be a little more cerebral when you wish sometimes just pull the trigger and throw it to CD. I bet CD will come down.
There you go, cerebral.
Just pull the trigger as opposed to being
Jimmy
more.
G is far from cerebral. So yeah.
You're the nail on the head here.
But to your point, I think that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, they had the best mind meld of any quarterback wide receiver I've ever seen in the history of me watching football. So.
Yeah,
hard to duplicate that.
Real quick, Jonathan, David brings up a point that I kind of
talk to him, Super Dave. Talk to him, Super Dave. Real talk.
What do you feel about Jerry Jones? I do want to say first, I appreciate Jerry Jones for paying for his own stadium instead of strapping the taxpayers with it. But other than that, I don't really like how he runs things now. I think he got old and thinks he knows everything because he's got he's done everything to get there, but he's old and he's an antiquated. You know what I mean? Like he's not hip to the new kids. You know what I'm saying?
I think you've seen like a major shift over these past 10 years to more of Stephen Jones controlling the team. If you look at the drafts, I think thinking back to the Johnny Manziel draft, if Jerry was still in charge of everything and he was still the one running the show, Johnny Manziel definitely would have been on this team. But when you had a pick like Zach Martin over him, which is like a smarter pick and it's more of a leaning more on your scouts, I think Steven and the scouting department is taking more control of the team in Jerry's twilight years. So it's hard to put it too much on Jerry, but he's still going to be the Mary Poppins. He's going to be the rose-colored glasses. Get out there in front of the media.
Can you explain the Mary Poppins thing real quick? Because that just, I don't get it.
It's just always positive. It's always everything is glass half full.
It's a spoon.
Does he got a carpet bag you keep pulling shit out of it that's way too big for it or something? Like,
exactly.
What is it?
That's exactly what's happening.
My hands don't cramp when I write checks.
But yeah, he's going to be the ultimate cheerleader, ultimate, go get him guy. So I don't have any fault with Jerry Jones, especially when it comes to these later years. I feel like someone else is running the team, and it's more of Steven's footprint is on his team now. But Jerry will always, we got to appreciate what he's done for the league. It wouldn't be where it is right now if it wasn't for him and bringing the advertisement and bringing that oil mentality and that ultimate salesman mentality to the NFL. It was a big step for us.
Being an Oakland A's fan, and that we're like, I'm Jerry Fisher, like doesn't like our biggest contract was in 2005 with Eric Chavez. Like we don't sign players back. At least Jerry Jones wants to win. Like he make dumb decisions, but he is fully invested in the team and wants to win. Like that's key for a lot of franchises, regardless. I mean, if he's dumb, that's what it is. But no Cowboys fans questions Jerry Jones's want to win a Lombardi Trophy.
Yep. But then
I severely doubt Fisher's doubt to win a World Series.
but then he does things like when you were watching the playoff game, I don't know if it was a issue during it, but he refuses to cover up where it is glaring on the field. And then you see our players like Cedric Wilson ducking out of the way of a pass because he can't see the ball because the sun's coming in the screen. Now, if it's a Taylor Swift concert, he'll cover that up so she won't get her eyes glared. But we're in a football team and you're in a playoff game, you'll be wide open. Those are the things.
Don't talk about my T Swift like that.
See, those are the things that will frustrate me and get me kicked off of the show. So we won't talk about that. But I don't know. You gotta love Jerry for what he's done in the past, but it does sometimes feel like he's the businessman over the football man, and everyone else is taking care of the football organization.
Jonathan, real quick, are you a teddy bear?
Because
you're saying I don't want to get kicked off the show or saying things as you're saying it'll be most politely and calm I've ever seen anybody who is supposedly upset about something. That's why I'm like, is he one of them? Like, do I need to watch out?
Yeah, it'll be a string of curse words that I don't think are allowed on YouTube if I get too in deep into it. So that's why.
All right. Like I'm not offended by the white ones. Oh. NFL stadiums are orientated north and south. The Cowboys stadium is already east and west. Yes.
It's common sense stuff too. It's not even like that's like I said, I don't want to get too into it, but yeah, that's one of the things that frustrate.
Real quick, our owner decided, since you couldn't put the park in Candlestick Park, which is a totally different climate from Santa Clara, that you don't change the plans of the building whatsoever, and then you put it in Santa Clara, and then someone dies of heat stroke. Wow. And then you have to ask the NFL that we only get night games if we have to do a home game early in the season. And then, so we want to play road games in the beginning. That sounds amazing. You want to start off a season on road games and you're not getting evening games unless you're a good team, right? So how, if you're in a bad situation and your team needs a little oomph, playing good on at home early in the season might give you that. Yeah, we don't have that. I'll move on.
Man, you know what? See, you just struck a nerve.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Speak, Kev.
with me being born and raised in San Francisco, I mean, to this day, when I drive home, I miss that landmark right off the freeway next to the ocean where Canada used to be. And I really feel like we could have put that all that money we put in Levi's, we could have put in the Candlestick to renovate it. It's still been cool. You know what I'm saying? But now we out here in Santa Clara. I mean, it's a straight shot from my mama house down 110. You know, it's about 40, 45 minutes. But nah, man, just leave it where it's at. And if you want to be honest, Levi Stadium compared to some of the other stadiums, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's really not just all that. You know what I'm saying?
Especially for the new ones. Yeah, it doesn't have the glitz. It doesn't have the glam.
So,
they got a hot tub.
Come on, bro.
They got a hot tub. They got a cannon that shoots cannons with a. No, man, they fucked up. Okay.
You know, so yeah. But anyway,
we moving on. Okay. If you were a free agent vet right now, like you know, you had some leverage in things, but nobody was buying because the cash is too thin. What are the three teams you would take a pay cut to go and play with right now? Rannon, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it depends on the position that you're in because you want to obviously play.
Well, let's pretend that no matter what, your position is open. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about, or you can pick your position with which team if you want to. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that.
That's fine. So just in general, the teams I think that most people want to play for the Super Bowl contender. I think a lot of people want to play for the Bucks and the Rams, and I think young hot quarterbacks. So Joe Burrow and the Bengals, you saw them fully outfit their offensive line. So a lot of people want to go that route. Herbert in San Diego and Mahomes, the Chiefs. Until Trey Lance proves himself as a quarterback, which we all think he will as fans and watches of football. But until he does, like, they're not a destination based on that because he needs to prove that. So I think quarterback is the number one thing that brings free agents and availability to win a championship if you're playing on the cheap.
I'm going to beg to differ on that point, but I'll get to it later. I'm going to go with Jonathan next.
Oh, yeah, he touched on my perfect teams too. So starting off, you want to go to an NFC team because all the quarterbacks right now are in the AFC. So you want to go to the path of least resistance. So Tampa and LA, those seem like two teams that are pretty much almost guaranteed to be in deep in the playoffs. LA is the media hub right now. You get to be in Hollywood. You get to play for a hot team that just won a Super Bowl. In Tampa, you go to play with Brady. And then my third team would be Kansas City. I'll play with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You're going to get a lot of eyes on you, a lot of primetime games. And I definitely take a pay cut so you can have that base of the primetime games.
Kev, you want to speak on this?
I'm sitting here listening to y'all, watching the chat and kind of just running over in my head. So if I'm a free agent, what team would I take a pay cut to go to? If I wanted to prove a point, it'll be my Niners. It would. And just like, you know what? They've been doubting this team for so long, XYZ, if money ain't an issue, I'm going to the Niners. You know what I'm saying? But if I want to win like right now, and I felt like, okay, I'm the missing piece from the one team, the Rams would probably be on my list. And especially if I was a running back. Because I know Cam Akers did his thing and all that, but if I knew I was a stout running back, and you got Cooper Kupp, now Allen Robinson, and what's the boy name from Jefferson, and the defense is still intact, yeah, I'm going to the Rams, especially the running back. But now my third team, I'm gonna go AFC here. I'm gonna go with. Now, because Watson there, the Browns. I don't care what position it is. I know the quarterback, it's locked down. Got a good running game. Myles Garrett leading that pass rush. So, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I don't like the cold, but damn it, if I'm a linebacker and I'm the Browns. Browns, if you ask me.
So, I'm going Browns. I'm going Chargers. and I'm going the 49ers. So I'm going to speak on the Randon real quick. I'm going to speak on why I chose 49ers, and I want to push back. Niners did really good with Jimmy G at the helm. Trey Lance, he's not proven, but he offers more. And I'm thinking that no matter what, I can come there and make a difference. And if I'm playing on defense, I really want to go there. If I play on offense, I'm going to be okay with figuring things out because they got a great run game. If I'm a running back, I'm definitely going there. If I'm offensive lineman, I'm going to show out because I'm going to put all my skills on showcase for everybody to see. If it's a 1-year deal, I'm going to get paid afterwards because this is exactly what I want to do. This is exactly what they want to do. You know what I mean? So if I'm worth anything, worth what, being a well-paid vet, coming to the league, having to take a discount, I'm going to be able to show my worth real easy in this type of standard. But I think the Browns, you had all that talent there. Now you got Deshaun Watson there. I think they need a little bit more help on defense. But obviously in the wide receiver game. But other than that, I think they're set up really well. And I decided to pick the Chargers over Denver because I was mixed on that one, and I picked them over the Denver because Russell's he's got new system, all this and that. Herbert is in the same system, so he has got 3 years. He's going to be going to his 3rd year under this belt, right? In this system, and they're just adding pieces around him. And one of his most favorite targets, Williams, who I think they overpaid him a little bit out the gate, but at the same time, I think he's going to be worth it. So I don't think they did too bad. But I think Herbert's got a lot of good things going there. Any pushback? Anything like that?
Oh, I don't disagree with the Chargers. No, I disagree with I disagree with the Browns just because you don't know Watson's situation if he gets suspended or not. But if it's a 1-season type deal,
oh yeah,
if it's a 1-season type deal,
yeah. All things considered, that may be a possibility. You're right. He may not play for a couple games. So I mean, yeah.
Well, even if you take 6 off, if you can win 1 out of those 6, you've got a chance of making the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, all bets are off.
But why would you take that chance when Herbert's going to play most of the year?
Bro, you just crap shooted everything else. I'm just saying. Well, they did. Anyway, let's just go into last question. What's up?
I have to get going because it's 11 o'clock.
Okay, we can wrap this up. That's not a problem. We don't need to talk about Jimmy G. I also have to piss, so that's a great time to end it.
Hey, Kev, you know what? Go take a piss. I'll wait for that.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
You want to speak some peace real quick? I'll give you the floor on the way out.
Okay, I mean that's cool.
What tell him the question and then let him answer, and then we just close it out.
With all the Jimmy G movement this year, still no one wants to punch Jimmy G's dance card. What is Jimmy G's fate? Will he be traded? Where will he be? Where will he go? Will he be cut? Look into your crystal ball. Tell me what you see.
I got 2 answers here. Either A, he's just straight out cut. We take that $7.5 million, hit from that $25 million, and he'll be a free agent. Or some team like the Panthers perhaps maybe get desperate and say, you know what, we'll take Jimmy G and have, Darnold as a backup, unless Darnold comes to us and part of that trade. So personally, I really think we've accepted the fact that nobody wants the guy. He's often injured and he's limited and he's system dependent. So I really don't think there's really too much of a trade market for him, to be honest. And then now with the shoulder surgery, he may never be the same. So either he's going to be a free agent or somebody's going to get desperate and say, you know what, we'll take him as a backup and he got to compete for the job. I just need that $25 million back. And you know what, I'm not going to be greedy. I'll take 25 minus 7.5. Hey, look, I'll take the rest of the money. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? So just, hey, whatever it is, just get him out the roster because it's going to cause too much chaos, too much division in the locker room. You had your time. So, and people say, oh, Well, where Jimmy going to end up? As a free agent. Damn it. Let's get him up out of here. This Trey area. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Just what y'all waiting for?
All right. Now, Kev, tell everybody where they can find you. Do all your shout outs.
Well, you know, but I gotta go back to the chain. Real talk, man. Talk, man. You know, I do have my own YouTube channel, but I'm rarely there because I'm normally with my guys at Real Talk Nana Talk. So, Real Talk Nana Talk, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You type in Real Talk. Once you type that 9 in, it pop right up for you. Real Talk Nana Talk.
And the link for everybody's YouTube and Kev and Jonathan's Twitters are all in the description. So please sub to everybody and, you know, follow everybody, please. It's all in the description. Take your time out. Jonathan, please say what you got to say to the people. We really appreciate you coming in again.
Oh yeah! Once again, thank you for having me on. The Dallas fan. I love talking ball with y'all. Come on anytime you need me.
Thank you very much, sir. And Kev, I want to thank you also for coming on. I forgot about that part.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, sir. Randy, you want to tell everybody where they can find you? You got a lot of different spots.
Yeah, at Random Commander 24 is on Twitter. I do hockey content for Hockey Royalty at hockeyroyalty.com for the Making It Rain podcast. And then I do my own stuff at Cerberus Sports Talk. We just did an NBA episode tonight with my boys Cam and Eric. We're doing A's, Niners, NBA, UFC, whatever we feel like doing. It's just a chance for me to get an outlet outside of the Kings. So I'm pretty much down to talk to anybody about any team or whatever. So Cerberus Sports Talk there. So like and subscribe everybody's channel because for people who are in the chat, 5 guys in a 6-pack, it's the same show is going to rotate through all our channels.
Yes.
So like and subscribe everybody. You know, do the humanitarian thing and pump up our shows a little bit, which we greatly appreciate.
Yes, we appreciate everybody for showing in. I want to thank you from No Border Sports for tuning in tonight. Like Randon was saying, please hit the description and sub to everybody. Give everybody their props. Baller, sorry I wasn't able to get your clips in here. I had to restart my computer before he got in because Kev wouldn't come in, so all the windows were up and we didn't really have time. Well, I guess we might have had the time, but I'm a little too pervin to have thought about that after a while.
Oh, they got them Elysian.
Sorry, sir. Oh, man. 8.2. Go get yourself some Elysian. You want to feel good? This is the other thing, too. You get good beer, some of them good microbrews. You get this euphoria feeling. Okay? It's not the drunk feeling. It's euphoria where everything got a rainbow on it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight with my co-host, Waruna. I'm thanking him along with you. And all my guests tonight, we couldn't have such a wonderful night without Jonathan, Randon, and Kev with us here tonight, which I'm sure you'll see these gentlemen on at some point in the future. So with that, y'all have a wonderful night.